Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel for all of you subscribers. Today I am going to be making some bread. Now I've never made this type of bread. I don't even know how to say it. So it's Focaccia. So is that I don't know. Focaccia? I don't know. But it's not my recipe, obviously, because this is the first time I'm making it. This is actually Paul Hollywood's recipe. So if you like Paul Hollywood, I mean, he's a great bread maker. So I'm going to do one of his recipes and see what we can come up with. All right. So I will have all of the ingredients down below, as always. And let's get right on into it. Okay, so first you want to get a square plastic bin. And you want to coat this with olive oil, which I have done. Second, you definitely want to get a digital scale. I have Paul Hollywood's digital scale, so I'm going to use this because it's definitely going to help. So in my little mixing bowl, I have 500 grams of flour, bread flour. Add the salt to one side of the bowl and the yeast to the other side, which we're going to do 10 grams of salt. That's 7 grams, if you can see that. No, we can't. Yeah, that's a little much. So I'm just gonna do a couple pinches of salt out. Okay, and then we are going to add 10 grams of yeast on the other side. And now we are going to turn the mix around with your fingers. Mix with the fingers. We're just going to mix this here like so. Okay, so I'm going to add in my olive oil and 140 grams of olive oil. Now I'm not going to mix this with my hands. I'm actually going to bring it over to my mixer and mix this into my mixer, because that it's gonna be a lot of mess. Okay, so now I'm just going to knead this. Okay, so now I'm gonna add this dough into this. And that's a lot. That is going to be a lot of dough. However, I did make a mistake, and that 140 milliliters or 140 grams, what was it? 140, that 140 milliliters was not supposed to be all put in. No, was not supposed to be all put in. Only 40 milliliters is supposed to be put in, so I have decided to make a lot more than what is asked. So I'm gonna have lots and lots of bread. So I'm gonna let this rise for about an hour. Now, usually you put it in a proving drawer, but if you don't have that, like in my case, I just put on the oven at low because you do want some of the heat to help it rise. So I'm gonna put my oven on at, I think the lowest goes to 170. So I'm gonna put it on 170. I'm gonna open the door and let all that heat kind of escape for about an hour. I'm going to also cover this with a tea towel so it rises nice. And like I said, that'll be for about an hour, so we will see you in about an hour. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tip this over and we're going to split it in half. going to actually get these to prove in the oven. And here's a little trick. If you put a pan of hot water into the oven on a very low temperature, that actually helps to prove your bread. So that's what I'm going to do with these two now, and they will be left in there for about an hour. We don't want to cook the bread yet, so we want to be very careful not to cook. Okay, so the bread has actually pretty much doubled in size. So here's what they look like. Pretty big, doubled in size. So I think this is my favorite one because I didn't stretch it as much as I did this one, which you can see it kind of, you know, almost like bread already. So here's what we're gonna do. We're going to poke finger all the way in to the very bottom. Alright, so we've got our holes put. Just gonna drizzle this with some, I have organic olive oil, and just gonna drizzle this on top. So now that I have that on, I'm gonna sprinkle it with just a little bit of salt. Right on top there. And then we're going to put on some oregano. So, nice little sprinkle of oregano on it. Now you can put as ever much oregano as you would like. I think the more you put on, the more taste you're gonna get, but you don't want to overdo it. So now that I have this completed and it looks really good, I'm going to stick this in the oven on 425 for 15 minutes. Okay, so here is the finished product. I think it came out pretty good. I think it came out pretty good. This one may have been able to get in the oven for just a little longer because it's still kind of a little doughy, but overall I think it looks pretty good. So if you've had this before or you've made it before, let me know below and tell me how yours came out. Also, make sure to subscribe. And with that, I am off. So you guys have a fantastic afternoon. And next time you see me, I will be bald again. So we'll talk to you later.